Hey everyone, it's Maribel Blue with a new Pathetically Unfiltered. If you are new here to this channel, please take a moment and consider subscribing and hit the bell notification so that you'll get notified when I upload a new video. And if you are not new, welcome back. So today is going to be a little different. I'm going to talk about a little bit of drama that's been going on with Meidas Touch, Michael Cohen, and Lev Parness, who is actually the dad to Aaron Parness. And I have to say, in all of this drama that's been going on, kudos to Aaron for not even inserting himself, bringing it up, or talking about it. I haven't seen anything, but I do want to say kudos to Aaron. So, with all that being said, I wanted to bring this up because I unsubscribed to Midas Touch months ago, and for a variety of reasons. Unlike what a lot of people on the right like to think, I am not the kind of person who buys everything into what the left is saying as well. As a matter of fact, it's very annoying to see a lot of creators put out their own propaganda and then think, oh, we're automatically right because we're left and we have common sense. And I get all of that, but it's not all the time that everybody on the left is correct. And I need to say that out loud. There's just a sense of, I guess, clickbait, trying to clout chase, trying to get their content out there. And you know what? I don't mind helping people getting their content out there for as long as your information is correct. That's all I'm saying. I don't care what side you're on. For as long as you're coming with verifiable information with verifiable links that I can look up and read for myself. Because here's the other thing, a lot of people, they'll read the titles of the article and then come to the conclusion of what the title is without reading the actual article. So that's also another thing. If there's something that I don't understand, I will say out loud, I don't understand. Somebody explain this to me. That is a form of humility, which I will say a lot of Trump supporters do not have because they are enjoying this chaos. And that should tell you what kind of people they are. Those are people, you can't salvage people like that. You can't argue with people like that. I've seen the comments in my videos. You know what? I think they're actually funny. All men with SPS, your problem, something that will never go away. And until you deal with everything else, well, then everything else is on you and it's not me. Thank you very much. So I came across these two creators who were talking about what was going on with Midas Touch and having this issue with Lev Parness. And then, like, a few days later, I saw Lev doing a live with Ben Meidas. Whatever the case is, if they resolved it, they resolved it. But Michael Cohen is also a part of this drama. Now, I'm going to tell you why I had unsubscribed to Midas Touch. While Midas Touch has a very big following, they also have their own propaganda machine. They are like the TMZ of left wing content, and they get everybody riled up. And I say to myself, you guys are attorneys. And the reason why I followed you was to understand the legalities of what this regime is doing and how we can combat it while understanding the law in the process of it. I really didn't get any of that. And while it's nice to have a TMZ ish kind of channel that's related to politics, at the end of the day, we all have to be informed. And I wasn't getting any of that. The other part is about 5 or 6 months ago, I did a whole expose on what was going on with Jeffrey Epstein. I kind of did like a breadcrumbs, like follow the trail of the breadcrumbs. And this is how we got here. That's the kind of content I like to do. I like to do deep dives. I have not done another deep dive with my unfiltered rabbit hole. And that's another thing that I'm working on. right now. I just wanted to say that I am going to go back to that series. So if you like deep dives, please subscribe to this channel because I'm not always going to be doing politics, just so you know. I did this deep dive, and the next day, Midas Touch comes out like they just uncovered exclusive information. Basically, the same information that I shared on that video, which really pissed me off because in that video that I did, telling my audience that what they've uncovered previously with Jeffrey Epstein and the Look of the Year contest was not anything exclusive. If you talk to people and use your resources, you're able to find it and it's not exclusive. And I credit them in that video because I used a piece of their video for my video. And then the next day, here they are with another exclusive finding when it was me who found it. So that really pissed me off. And and I really didn't like the fact that no one in their team reached out and said, "Hey Maribel, we saw what you did in these findings and we'd like to use a piece of your video," whatever. I would have been super happy about that cuz it would help the cause for people to understand how we got here in so many ways and who is Jeffrey Epstein if you don't know who he is and how he ran things. And there are other content creators who also do deep dives on just Jeffrey Epstein alone and how he came to be in his businesses. I suggest do a search and find those channels. They're very informative. Anyway, um once I saw that video, I unsubscribed to them immediately. I took myself off their Substack. I took myself off their mailing list. I really wanted nothing to do with people who use their audience and pretend to find things that are exclusive when a lot of the times it's not. It's just there. You just have to know how to find it. As for Michael Cohen, I also had unsubscribed to him because there were just too many things. I was also very supportive of him early on. You look at a person who went to jail, who admitted in covering certain things up, and he is known as the fixer, which is, what a person, if you've seen The Godfather, that's what the lawyer is. The lawyer always plays the part of the fixer to make sure that nobody in the family goes to jail. Well, it seemed that there was this whole drama where he started claiming that he was coerced into doing certain things. Now, I'm going to play a little bit of Lev, who was on Substack, and then I'm going to play a little bit of Michael Cohen's response to that.
Because of the outsourcing, the way you said,
Mhm.
by allowing it, because one eye is good, two eyes is better, but millions of eyes are incredible.
Mhm.
Because think about it, Michael Cohen thought he got away with it because that was in the very first, that letter was dumped in the very first pile, I guess, or it
Yeah.
was one
It
of
was
the
like
very
10 days, 10 days after Epstein was
right. It was
arrested.
like
Yeah.
right. It was like in the very first dump, and everybody missed it. I mean, all the big
Yeah.
media missed it. Or I mean, a lot of people missed it, and it was an extremely important letter, as you could see right now, because it's blowing everything up into the air. Because basically, Michael Cohen, and I'll give you a little back end
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the
You're better at this than me.
yeah. We'll do a little story time with Love and Ellie right now.
All right.
So this is a little back end. So. Uh, Tara Palmieri. So me and Michael Cohen, we were doing me, Michael Cohen, and Malcolm Nance were doing a show called Unleashed, and we were on it and talking about the daily stuff with Donald Trump. I've always had a love-hate relationship with Michael Cohen, more hate than love, because of just the person that he was. Me and him are different people. I know him for a very
Hmm.
long time. I know the circles he's run in. Michael Cohen's one of those people that's always wanted to be the power, and that's why he was with Donald Trump. And that's why people have to understand a lot of things happen. People forgot who Michael Cohen is. So because of the way the media whitewashed him, the way they made him a hero because of the Stormy Daniels trial, and because the Stormy Daniels trial was in the news for so long, for so many years, over and over again, and that was something that Trump actually got convicted on. So because of that, Michael Cohen, as being a con man that he is, he was able to con his way and use it. But if you really think about, Michael Cohen has never, ever testified or spoke about any
Mm-hmm.
other crime that Donald Trump has done in 14 years. And we all, if you really sit back and Google and go look back, and I think I might do it, or somebody should do it, and do a little history of Michael Cohen and who he really was before supposedly he had this mea culpa. Michael Cohen was a nasty human being that, abused people, threatened people, was ready, his last word before he flipped on Donald Trump was, I'm ready to take a bullet for Donald Trump, if you remember that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, the important part is the timing of everything that is happening. And that's why I want to bring everything, because timing is important. Michael Cohen, in his own words, kept telling me part of his pitch and to everybody that 2016, the time when Trump got elected to office, was when Michael was one of the closest to him. He was part of helping him get elected. That's when the Stormy Daniels, thing happened where he paid it off for him. That's when Susan McDougal. And that is when we had the Katie Johnson criminal complaint that got dismissed right before. It was all in the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, Michael Cohen is very well aware and detailed about everything, except for when it came to the Epstein stuff and Katie Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to
So I'm going to stop over here. I think when it comes to this aspect and Michael Cohen seemingly unaware of the relationship that Donald Trump had with Jeffrey Epstein is very suspicious. When you think about a person who was an attorney and making sure that his client was in the clear of any wrongdoing, one would think, wouldn't he know about any ties that he had with Epstein? Now, of course, let's just go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, because everything that I'm going to say is not verified. This is all me thinking, as I'm sure everybody else has thought. If Michael Cohen is aware of the ties that Donald Trump had with Jeffrey Epstein and all of the ugliness that's in it, Sasha Riley included, I couldn't even hear the rest of that. I had to bypass the whole puppy thing. I can't hear people abusing or murdering animals because it takes me to a very, very dark place. So I can't hear any of that. But I will say this. Have you ever watched the movie 8mm with Nicolas Cage and Joaquin Phoenix? I'm going to leave it at that. You do your own deep dive and think about what I just said. If Michael Cohen knows something and he has been threatened in some kind of way, he's going to flip and say things, turn things around. It's just a lot. So I'm going to play Michael Cohen's response.
And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 1 million subscribers. Now, look, as you all know, a lot has changed over the course of this weekend, and I do want to address it all, including actually a reversal in our momentum, in our journey to the 1 million subscribers. And what started it all? Well, apparently, it's a post that I put out on Friday, a post that was personal to me, for me, and about me. To those of you who have been following this journey, I have talked about and I have criticized the DOJ. I have criticized Tish James. I have criticized Alvin Bragg. I have criticized what I refer to as the Department of Justice. And when I wrote that post, I felt pressured and coerced. That's how I felt. Now, those words, they appear to have caused an avalanche of comments that are being hurled my way. Some thanking me for speaking up because they too have seen the Department of Injustice in action, and others with some of the most vile, disgusting comments that I think I have received so far. And that says a lot. People have used my post for many reasons, mostly selfish ones. But it's all personal feelings for me. You see, I never intended my words to come across as being helpful for Trump. My trauma, my anguish, as I talk about in my Substack of today, it's mine. It belongs to me. And you know what I find the most ironic? Something I again talked about in my Substack of today. It's ironic. What's ironic is because all of those of the loudest antagonists that have been posting and writing and saying things about me have risked absolutely nothing in their lives, and nothing even coming close to what I have. Which one of them appeared 7 times before congressional committees? Who of them faced 2 grand juries and stood as the key witness in 2 trials that shook a presidency? Who? Not them. Me. It was my heart on fire, my soul exposed, my family on edge, my emotional health shredded, my finances decimated, my nights when I should have been sleeping peacefully, haunted by fear and worse, anxiety.
You know, when I hear Michael Cohen talk about what he put on the line, I have to ask, is he taking any accountability for what he put forth? Yes, he did prison time, and I guess that is a form of accountability, of confessing with the whole money thing with Stormy Daniels. But you also have to ask, after Donald Trump allegedly won this election, how he said I think in a TikTok live, when he was doing his lives early on, he hopes that he does well and that he is going to back him because he is our president of the United States. And I found that strange. I think we know full well what it is that we are dealing with. We are into a year of one disaster after another. This regime, Lion Lipless Levitt, Stephen Lyon Miller, JD Vance, who all of a sudden took over the Turning Point USA, Erica Kirk, who's front and center and apparently grieving and dating allegedly, which is really quick for somebody, but that's just my own personal thought. You think about all of these people who Trump has surrounded himself with, the ICE agents who are interrogating people on the street who are American citizens. And guess what? Vice President Kamala Harris told us all of this was going to happen. But yet you will still have his supporters say, I like what he's doing. Of course you do. This is what happens when you have SPS. Of course you're going to like it. So when Michael Cohen talks about his own catastrophes that he's dealing with, my thing is, when you put your feelings out there, you type it up, you either put it in an article, you're putting it on X, you're putting it on any social media. Read it back to yourself. Ask yourself, how does this sound when a strange person, when a stranger basically is reading my words? Because they are not going to apply your feelings to those words. They are going to apply their own feelings. See, this is the problem when it comes to reading material online. When you're reading words from someone else, how many times have people gotten confused with my words? If I'm saying something and people assume something else, it's because of what they are feeling in that moment. They are not reading it the way I just put it out there. They're reading it however their head is in that moment. So when Michael Cohen is talking about how he was feeling in that moment, maybe clarify it in an article for those people who may not understand a short sentence that says, I felt coerced. That can be taken in so many different ways. Just like he said, I'm going to stand behind our president because he's our president. I mean, my first thought was, well, why? When we all know what's coming, the catastrophe that's coming, the insanity that's coming, how people are going to get hurt. How can you stand behind that? I think that's a credible question. But I think the bigger picture is with all of this, whether you're a right leaning person, conservative, a left leaning person, where you have empathy and you care about other people and you care about their well being, we all have to do our research. This is the bigger problem. We can't just assume people we encounter who are on our side really are on our side. Most of the time, even with a left leaning ideology, they are still selfish and only thinking about themselves. Hey, I created this video. Be sure to repost it and share. There was one person that I really supported early on last year, and she posted a video of empty store shelves saying, this is what's happening now, putting that fear, inciting fear of something that existed during the pandemic. It was not existing now. It led me to ask people, what do your store shelves look like? Are they full? Are they empty? Are you running out of things? Everybody said the same thing. No, we're full over here. Store shelves are full. And it made me look at this person in a different way. I realized she really doesn't care about other people. Sure, she does left leaning stuff, but she doesn't really care. Because if she did, she wouldn't put out misinformation. So when the right says, oh, the left puts out misinformation, sure, they do. But at the end of the day, we all have to do our research, whatever side you're on. Not take a snippet of what you're seeing on Fox propaganda and then running with it without doing research. Because you see, when you don't look shit up, when you don't understand what it is that you're reading, ask. I ask people, I don't understand. What does this mean? Explain it to me better so that I can understand and be educated.
Every platform became a hunting ground for me. Their mission to destroy, not to illuminate, not to inform, not to reckon with the horrors of the system, just to destroy, to cancel, humiliate, ruin, burn relationships, business, like my relationship with Meidas Touch Network. And congratulations, you allowed them to succeed. And that's the shame of the whole thing, because you know what, in all fairness, we have something right here. We have something good here. We have something honest and truthful here. And when they take one piece of paper that says absolutely nothing, and they try to make that, oh, we found the smoking gun. Look at what he said. I've already discussed that issue. I've talked about the Rule 35B motion. In fact, if you look at the date on that specific document, do you know where I was? Seriously, do you know where I was? I was an inmate at FCI Otisville. That's where I was. See, the problem is that they don't realize the damage that they're causing. In fact, they don't care because they're profiting from it, whether it's subscribers paid or not. They're building their platform, and that to them is what it's all about. For me, it's not about that. For them, like I said, more subscribers, more clicks, more dopamine from outrage. I do truly hope that they feel satisfied. Truly, I do. because when the right time comes, there's no amount of apology. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Will ever repair the harm that they're doing to this community, to me, worse, to my family. The only thing that really truly matters to me, the only thing that I know that I cannot rebuild. And the funny thing is, this is what people are rage baiting about.
So I'm going to close with this. This drama for Michael Cohen is not over for sure. I don't know Lev Parness very well to say anything. One thing Michael Cohen did say about the rage baiting is, yes, for me, Meidas Touch creates a lot of content to rage bait people. And for me, that's not being informative. I'd like to believe that what I'm sharing here on this channel is to keep people informed. Yes, there are people who do not agree with me, and those are the trolls that come in and make comments and call me names, and that's all they have other than SPS. They don't have anything else to offer, so they get blocked and moving on. But when I think about the bigger picture of why I do this channel is to keep people informed, to share my personal thoughts, whether they be right or wrong. The idea is to get a conversation going with people who are like-minded, who want to be educated, who want to have adult conversations so that we can find ways to navigate through this madness. We're not going to find ways if we're constantly rage baiting people and creating drama that should not be there. I don't know. I mean, if I was an attorney, I would want to take the time out, like Mark Elias and Glenn Kirshner, and offer valuable opinions when it comes to the legal aspects of what's happening here. That's why I like to watch Brian Tyler Cohen, because he has them on. I thought by watching other people who have channels within the legal aspect that's tied with Meidas Touch that I would learn something, and it was like the same propaganda. And no, this is not me making fun of left-wing people. What I'm saying is, when it comes to a point, it's not really about left or right. It really is about common sense, doing your homework, doing research. What can I learn from this? Somebody like Bishop, who I interviewed last year, she looks up this information. She puts things together. Why do I enjoy going to her lives? Because I'm going to get educated. Another creator on TikTok named Casso. Why do I like to go to his lives? Because I know I'm going to get education. If I'm not educated, I won't learn anything. And this is the thing that gets me with like people who support Trump. Don't you want to learn anything? Don't you want to be educated? Don't you want to empower yourselves with knowledge to be better? They just don't. So I don't waste my time with them. I don't waste time having debates or discussions. I am here on this channel for people who want to learn, and we're all going to learn together. As for Michael Cohen, good luck to him. Good luck to Meidas. I would just say that if anybody who's going to be continuing to support Meidas Touch, just do your research. It's nice that we have this opportunity to support independent media, independent creators. It's great. I'm glad to be on this platform. But at the same time, do your homework. Don't support one over the other due to popularity. Support everyone that you can. And that's all. So with all that being said, this is Maribel Blue signing off. Let me know your thoughts on this drama, basically. And as always, remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other. Most importantly, take care of you. Bye, everybody.